China ends up stealing our technology, and he wants to limit Chinese investment to our critical companies, particularly in Silicon Valley. China won't do that.
Those are really important points here.
They are.
If you want to cut into the future of protecting American capital investments, American intellect.
Well, you know, it's always been amazing to me that people think it's great that China can sell us cheap plastic things that we'll throw away in 3 years. We give them our money, then they return the money back here in the form of ownership of our companies. A lot of people say that that's a fantastic relationship. Peter doesn't think so, and I never thought so either. Now, what I will say is, this is the last chance. This is the last chance. China has way too much momentum going behind the technology, economic momentum. We got to cut a deal now. I do believe it will be a deal focused on trade. I think the markets will like it. I think it will be huge. But long term, I think we'll remiss if we don't do something on IP.
Do you think they will get a deal?
Take a look at Boeing stock the last 2 days. That's my tell. That's one of my tells. Absolutely phenomenal action there. But more than likely, I'm telling you, I feel there's a 90% chance a deal will happen.
Got it. Intellectual property. Big deal.
Yeah.
Sorry about that before I lost connection somehow. I am back live now. Thanks for coming back and joining.
You got it, Bill. Man, new prep for a Mueller interview could happen. We'll tell you what the Trump attorneys are saying, planning for this summer. Coming up.
You enter the financial market, looking for a secure tomorrow, only to find unpredictability around every corner. That's why the wise investor.
They investigated that, we may not know enough about this even the rest of the day. Who was this person? Is it a fellow student? Is it someone that used to go to that school? Someone from living in the community? What was the motivation? Are there leads on social media, on that person's cell phone, computer, other areas of communication, interviews with former classmates, workmates, neighbors, family members to try to determine if there was an advanced warning that this might take place, and then if there's any connection to the victims. Was this targeted, that he wanted to go in and specifically go after one or more specific groups of kids and do the shooting there, or was it just he wanted to go in and cause mass killings or mayhem, right, and then surrender? So there's going to be a great deal of that investigation.
We again, we don't know if this is students or staff who've been killed. We don't know the number of fatalities, and we don't know the extent of the injuries or how many. We are just hearing from a woman who was inside of this school when this happened. Let's play it.
I heard the alarms, everybody just, started leaving, following the same procedure as we did, because nobody thought it would be this. Nobody thought it was a shooting. Everybody just thought it was a, normal procedure, practice, fire drill. And next thing you know, we just hear three gunshots, a lot of explosions, and all the teachers are telling us, run, run, go, run. Me and my friend Ryan Calvert ran to the forest so we could get shelter. And that's when I called my mom. Because I thought I was going to have an asthma, or I was having an asthma attack. And I just wanted to be safe. I was upstairs, and I heard the fire alarm go off, and I thought it was just a fire drill, so I left my bag and stuff inside, and then I went downstairs, and then I met up with him.
How's the volume?
All these teachers telling us to get back. I didn't know what was going on. I thought the school was on fire. And then we just heard gunshots go off. So he grabbed my hand and we took off running towards the bushes.
The first we're hearing on camera from students who were inside of Santa Fe High School in southeastern Texas, just an hour outside of Houston, relaying what was a terrifying warning for them. Every student's worst nightmare, every teacher's worst nightmare, every parent's worst nightmare taking place this morning in yet another school, marking the 22nd school shooting so far this year, with multiple fatalities in this school shooting. This is still developing. We still don't know how many have been injured or the extent of their injuries. Our thoughts are with all of these families. I'm going to pass it off to my colleague Kate Baldwin for more on this right now. Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Baldwin. We are following breaking news right now, and we want to bring everyone up to speed here. Law enforcement sources now say there are multiple fatalities at a high school in Santa Fe, Texas. This is following a shooting at the school in Santa Fe, Texas this morning. Authorities say a suspect is in custody. It's getting more troubling. CNN correspondent Paula Sandoval is following all this for us. Jessica Snyder is also talking to her source. What are you hearing?
Well, Kate, right now we know that at least this is no longer an active shooter scene. But as these details are coming out, they are becoming much more troubling.
What do you think about this?
I have confirmed with law enforcement sources that there are multiple fatalities here. We don't have a number on it. That's because this scene is still being processed. The technical teams are still on the ground there. We know for the most part that now, though, that this scene has been cleared out of these students. We know that parents have been going to a nearby hospital in Galveston, Texas. But right now, I've been talking with law enforcement sources. They do tell me multiple fatalities. Again, this is all an evolving investigation, evolving numbers that are coming out. We know that this all started unfolding around first period at Santa Fe High School in Texas. And we know that as information is beginning to come out here, we know that there are at least multiple fatalities. We know that the Harris County Sheriff is on the scene there assisting. They have called this a multiple casualty event as well, but no exact numbers that we're getting. We're just hearing multiple fatalities. So again, this is no longer an active shooter situation. For the most part, this scene has been cleared out. And now this is when these technical and tactic teams come in to assess the situation and find out exactly what's been going on right now. But Kate, this has been evolving over the past hour or two, and we're getting more and more information, and it continues to look grim, with my sources now telling me multiple fatalities. Kate?
All right, Jessica, stay close with us, please, as we're trying to get all the information we have and get it out to you as quickly as we can and accurately. Polo, there are so many questions right now and a lot of uncertainty, so we will update every time we get an update on this. But what are you hearing from people on the ground? Polo, can you hear me? Okay, I think we're having a problem getting Polo up, but we've been hearing a lot from some of the eyewitnesses, some of the students that have been coming out of the building. One of the reports from one of the eyewitnesses telling one of our affiliates is that a gunman walked into an art classroom and began firing what looked like, at least to what this witness, like a shotgun. We're going to continue to stay on this. Let me bring in right now law enforcement analyst, former FBI Supervisory Special Agent Josh Campbell. He's joining me right now. Josh, again, a lot of uncertainty. We're trying to get a lot more information coming up. But as you hear these few details that we have right now, what do you think?
So many questions right now that we still have, and obviously there are many things that are going on simultaneously. Investigators
first time
are
watching,
moving from that
like,
phase of saving lives and now trying to process the scene, determine, is there any evidence?
Your world, your USI, you need to know what's going on.
Answer that question. Why did this person do what they did? A lot is also going to hinge on, now we have the reporting that the person's been taken into custody. A lot of it will hinge on whether this person is being cooperative. Obviously, law enforcement will be conducting an interview to try to, assess, again, kind of that motive to get to, why this person did what they did. But if they're not cooperative, then that, that's obviously going to make it that much more difficult. They'll be digging into this person's past, their social media, their phone records, again, talking to associates and family members. And then, now, as we've seen, unfortunately, with so many of these incidents, this now being obviously the 22nd shooting of the year, law enforcement officers will be looking back through their own holdings and trying to determine, is this someone that we knew? That's now become that standard practice. Right. Obviously, we've seen some of those heartbreaking instances where law enforcement was aware. We're not saying that's the case here. We don't, we haven't positively identified the person yet, but that's something that law enforcement officers will be looking into. And again, the last thing I'll say, having gone through so many of these incidents, is this is also the heartbreaking phase for the family members who don't know yet the state or condition of their loved ones. So whether or not you're a parent out there who is trying to again, check in to see whether or not your son or daughter was involved in this is that heartbreaking period. But you can rest assured the law enforcement, the school officials will be working with them to try to get that information out as fast as possible, because you have a lot of concerned people right now.
And just one of the things, just for our viewers, we're looking at some video of some aerial video, and it looks like some students are lined up, and there's a search being conducted of probably of themselves and of their belongings. That's standard, though, Josh, right? Walk us through what these students are dealing with.
Yeah, it is standard. So you'll see, students being taken out, obviously, filed out in a line. A lot of times you'll see them with their hands up. This is a standard practice. It's what law enforcement officers train for, because again, when you arrive at a scene, you don't know if there's one person, you don't know if there are multiple people, and you don't know if the person who's involved is actually among those who you're trying to get out to safety. If you remember from Parkland, there was this. Obviously, we now know that the individual was able to escape along with the crowds and was actually arrested, away from the school. So this is all be standard practice. You see the video footage there of students being instructed to dump their backpacks. They want to again make sure that they can go through what's on their person, what's in their baggage, in order to determine is there anything that may be dangerous.
Yeah, and
Dark Star just made a comment that there's a better security at Walmart.
As the scene is still being processed and as everything is still playing out. Josh, stick with me. I want to get back over to Polo. I think we've been able to connect with him now. Polo, as we're learning that this happened just as school was getting underway in Santa Fe, Texas. We are starting to hear from some of the people on the ground. What are you picking up?
Yeah, Kate, those are those young people who were the closest to what was happening today. We are hearing some of those heartbreaking, dramatic, emotional accounts from some students. I want you to hear directly from at least two of them before we play some of what they had to say. Keep in mind, this was not long after the start of first period this morning when the shots rang out.
That boy had his guns taken away. Somehow his father was able to get him back, and then he gave him back to his son, and that is how that happened. I think we need to have
3 gunshots, loud explosions, teachers are telling us to run, go, run.
I think we need to look at the process of the law itself. And I think the law needs to be rewritten when it comes to guns and gun safety. And I feel like that is one thing that has been avoided in many ways.
I heard the fire alarm go off and I thought it was just a fire drill, so I left my bag and stuff inside, and then I went downstairs, and then I met up with him, and then all these teachers telling us to get back. I didn't know.
Comment on your thoughts.
The school was on fire. And then we just heard gunshots go off, so he grabbed my hand and we took off running towards the bushes.
Again, some of the accounts that we were hearing from these students, Kate, and finally we're also hearing from their parents as they described those frantic phone calls from their children saying that they were being relocated to a nearby gas station where they could potentially reunite with their parents. So still a lot happening there, as this is still a very active situation. But of course, the country now dealing with its latest.
Oh, you just ruined my stream. Crap. Are you guys gonna blank screen? Probably are. Ugh, dick. Sorry, all my friends just called and interrupted the whole thing.